Hello, Gun Nation. Big Johnson coming at you. All right, we're going to go over some stuff that I get asked all the time. And a lot of it is on the chat. Some of them are on my videos. But I do a live chat every Wednesday night. It's called the Gun Nation Chat. 7 p.m. Central every Wednesday night. So subscribe, tap notifications. They will pop up for you every time I have a video that goes live or a chat or anything like that, so you can follow along. And, please join us. Bring your questions. We have a great time. I give you a no bullshit, honest opinion. I don't sugarcoat stuff. I tell you flat out like it is. I either like something, I don't like something, I have experience with it, or I don't. Straight up honest. So that's what you're going to get from me. But let's get into it. People ask all the time, hey, what do you think about the P-07? What do you think about the P-09? What do you think about the P-10C? What do you think about the P-10F? I've got videos comparing both of these. Y'all can go back. I've compared these guns for years because people have asked. I've talked about, what I like, what I dislike, features, benefits, things like that. And I've got some, stock versions and other versions. And I've got multiples of these guns. So not everything you see here on the P-07, P-10 series is all I have. So we'll go over it. I'll kind of let you know, what I like, what I dislike, some things you might not be aware of if you're thinking about either one of these, and let's get into it. So what I have here is the P-09. All of these guns have been safety checked. They're just mags in there, just so you can see. But of course, here's a P-09 that has been worked over. I've got full videos on all these if you want to see them. And, there's that. So there's the P-09. Does have an extended magazine in it. We'll pop it out. Here's the P-07, one of the P-07s. This one's been done up. I have videos on this. I've got extensions on it. We'll pop that out. Here's the P-10F, and this is in a Harry's Holster competition rig, and we'll kind of talk about that here in a minute. These are available if you're interested. I'll leave a link below in the comment section, and you can pick one of these up and use my discount code. Here's the P-10F. Y'all have all seen it. And then here is a P-07, or excuse me, P-10C. So there's that. It's been, updated, so to say. As you'll notice, I have optics on all of these. So I'm a big optics fan. I have comps on a few of these. I'm a big comps fan. So let's get into it. The questions I get asked all the time, what is your favorite striker fire gun? What's your favorite striker fire gun? I've said this numerous times. My favorite striker fire gun for me are the CZ P-10 series, whether it's the C or the F. Just so you know, I have 2 P-10Cs. I have 1 P-10F. Why do I have all of these? Well, I actually like them quite a bit. They are all optics. All 3 of them have optics on them. The other one is my home defense gun. It's actually in another room, so we'll just leave that one in there because it's loaded, locked, ready to go. Why do I like the P-10F? Okay, y'all have all seen this. It's a big boy. A lot of people go, oh my gosh, the grip's so big. How do you handle it? Or, I think it's too big of a gun or whatever. And that's cool because you have the P-10C option. However, with the P-10F, I run it like this. I do have the large back strap on here. I prefer the large. A lot of people don't. I have XXL hands, like I've said before. And this is the one that works for me. Now, one thing that it does not do, and I wish it did, is I wish the back strap went all the way up here, so when you added the larger back strap, it'd actually give you longer trigger reach for my fingers. But it doesn't. It really just fills up the palm on the back side. So the sides are good. A lot of people say this is too aggressive. I actually wish it was more aggressive. However, the front strap and the back strap are more aggressive than the sides, and that's really where you need, the pressure. Now this one holds 19 rounds. This is the stock magazine. You can see it. So it is 19 plus 1. And what designates this from the P-10C version or the P-10Cs and Fs is you do have 2 cuts here on the magazine. The old P-10 or the P-07s and the P-09s only had 1 cut. The benefit of this is your P-10F and your P-10C mags will also fit your P-09 and your P-07, of course, if the link is long enough. Of course, the longer mag will go in the P-09 and the P-10C. However, the shorter P-10C mags will not go in the P-09 or the P-10F because they're too short. That's kind of that's kind of understandable. But you get 19 plus 1, so that's a great capacity. The stock trigger, a lot of people say, oh, it's not that great. Mine have a shitload of rounds through them. So mine are actually pretty good. I will say my older generation P-10Cs do have a better trigger than my P-10F stock. None of these have been worked on. They're all stock, even the P-09 and P-07. So, but this one is actually, you know, we'll just go ahead and pop this out. Check it again. You know, I'll ghost it for you. So there's that. There's your wall. Break. Reset. I think the P-10C, P-10F lines have some of the best factory striker fire triggers out there, in my personal opinion. Some people don't like the safety blade here. They say it rubs their finger, you know, blah, blah, blah. So there's all different kinds of things. If you'll look at this, you know, the way that it sits, it is a somewhat low bore axis. It's not the lowest in the world, but it's way better than a SIG for me, in my opinion. It is a lower bore axis than that. I can get a super high grip on it. Even with my XXL hands, you know, I do have a little bit left at the bottom. Some people have quite a bit left at the bottom. This is what I have. Really like this. I've got the HoloSun 507C X2 with a little tray. Really like these dots. A lot of people will bitch about this big gap right here, and it does have a big ass gap. You know, that is a CZ plate in there. So it does have a big gap right there. That's really just cosmetic. And I'm not OCD, so it doesn't bother me, but I could see where it could for some people. There are other plates, you know, that have like a filler in there. But, you know, this one works for me. I've never had anything come loose, but I Loctite them, use the correct inch pounds, all that good stuff. But there you go. Now, the neat thing about this, like I was saying, here's your 19 plus 5. That fits in there too. So this thing becomes a freaking hammer. It will sling some lead. I have actually taken an advanced pistol class with this gun. Did very well with it. I love this gun. So there's the P-10F. Again, the Harry's holster. This is his competition rig. I run the Safariland QLS, and it just snaps right in there. He does not have any light bearings available. Just keep that in mind. All right, P-10C, basically the same thing. This one has a comp on it. This is a primary machine comp. You know, this is called their stubby. Is it super, super great? No, it's not. I'm just going to be flat out honest with you. It does help. It really does. You can see, you know, I don't really clean the comps. It actually does work. I wish it didn't have the side ports. I wish it had a bigger port on the top where everything just directed up. I don't really need anything coming out of the sides, but there it is in all of its glory on the stubby comp. I really like the way that I had this one done. These are the factory sights for the Urban Gray. This pistol used to be an Urban Gray model, so these are the factory night sights, super bright, all that good stuff. And this does have the ACSS primary arms reticle on it, the HoloSun. Really like it. It's got the large ring, the chevron in there. You can turn off the large ring if you don't want, but this is a great training dot for somebody who is getting used to red dots. My mag releases work really well on all of these. A lot of people complain about those. If there's one thing, you know, when I've got a really monster grip on here and I press this, you can see that it does pop here on the other side. See how it lifts up? So if you've got your grip on here, however, my trigger finger, I really don't notice it, but it can catch me right here on this knuckle a little bit. It's just due to hand size. But like I was saying, with your magazine compatibility, y'all saw, there you go. You can run the big boy in it also. Really love this gun. Carried this thing for years and years and years, and still carry it occasionally. All right, let's get to the P-09, P-07. This is a P-09. The difference between these two, this one is double action, single action. If you're not familiar with that, basically, I'll just show you here. This one's, unloaded. Has a decocker right here. These are convertibles, so they do come with a safety in the box. You can change them out easily. I keep the decockers on here, but when you pop this down, it goes into a decocked position, and it's ready to go. So it actually shortens your first double action pull. Is it that bad? Not for me. I'm used to it. And I recommend, and I've said this numerous times, if you only have striker fires in your collection, I highly recommend you having a double action, single action, just to get used to the trigger so you know that battery of arms. So you're familiar with it. Your first one, your first pull, there's your take up. It's quite a bit. And that's good, because if you're carrying an appendix, then you'll hit the wall, you'll pull through. I'm trying to show you the hammer also. You will pull through, your hammer will move. Pretty stout, and then there's that. The neat thing about this is your next trigger pull is all single action. So your first pull, no joke, it's probably about 8.5 pounds. It's pretty stout. But your single action on both of these, the P-07 and the P-09, is about 3 pounds 4 ounces. So it's actually very nice. So I'll kind of show you that. It's cocked and locked and ready to go. So here's this. Got that much take up, that much play. You hit the wall. There you go. Reset. Comes out a little bit, but there's the wall again. You hit it. So these triggers are actually really good for keeping your sights on target or your dot on target, pulling through that double action. So you'll get a little bit of wiggle if you've got a shit grip, or if you've got a great grip, everything will be steady. And double action is a great thing. Also, to train with these, you could actually cock and lock it, run it decocked, fire that round, bang, okay, let it back out. Of course, it's going to be back. You could decock it again, or if you don't want to decock it, you can just run it in full double action. Now, what's the thing about this? You actually have double strike capability. So if you don't have a round go off, you can just pull it again, and that round should go off. This is what you have, double strike capability, that you have with your double action, single action, that you do not have with your striker fire. So here's the P-07. It does have a Delta Point Pro on here. I've blown out 2 Delta Point Pros. This is the last Delta Point Pro I have, and I will not buy another one. However, this one's already pre-milled for it. If you like Delta Point Pros, I'm not hating on you. I just really think they're behind the curve, and they need to do some changes on these things. I've broken connectors in there. All kinds of shit has gone wrong with those damn things. So this is the last one I have. Also, I do have the rear sight on here. I ordered that separately, and you can adjust it up or down, left or right, all that good stuff. And the front sight is stock, but it is what it is. I dominantly use the dot. Now, we were talking about, y'all saw this one go into the P-10F. As long as you have the dual cuts, it will go in your P-09 also. So there you go. So you have mag compatibility between both of these units. That is not a bad thing. Here's the P-07. There's that. Speaking of those mags, there's the big one. Goes in there perfectly. Of course, it hangs out, but it will work. And then here's the other one. There's that one. And these are 15 rounds plus 1 in the pipe plus 5s. So I've carried it with this. I've carried it with the plus 2s. I've carried it with the 1s. All that stuff. Really like it. Here I have a 507. This is the old ass 507. And it is still working like a monster. Try to get you a sight picture if the camera will pick it up. It's on, I promise you. I don't know how well you can see it. Let me crank it up a little bit. There you go. Still working like a beast. Now this is a primary machine, and you can see their little emblem on here. Yeah, primary machine. This is their longer comp. So this is their full comp. This comp actually works better than that. However, this comp could do so much so much more. It works. I've got videos shooting this. This thing's flat as shit. All that good stuff. Also, you'll notice I don't have any sights on here. It is milled, or it is set up for a front sight. And then here is where I had the other sight milled for a Glock. So I can put, you know, the co-witness sights on here. However, I have used this where I've completely taped up the front and the back of this sight so I cannot see any dot or sights. And with the correct grip, 7 yards, I shot a group about that big, just strictly kind of point and shoot with no sights. So if you've got a really good grip and you've got it locked down, you can shoot like that if your dot were to go out. I don't recommend it for amateur shooters or beginner shooters, but you can do it with the proper grip. This one has been milled on the top, you know, along with the other one. This one does have a stainless steel guide rod, all that good stuff. So, but as far as all the triggers and everything in the triggers and in the guts, they're all stock. And between these two guns, the P-09 and the P-07, and just so you know, I have another P-07 and another P-09, so I have a total of 4 of them because I like them so much. The other ones are pretty much stock, these are not, but that is how much I like the P-07s and the P-09s. I don't really want to bore you with everything, you know, I'm trying to give you the information, but do I recommend the P-07s, P-09s, P-10Cs, P-10Fs, all of that? I highly recommend them. Also, I get asked all the time, between the P-09 and the P-07, which one do I shoot the best? Okay, we'll set these up just so you can see it. I have a full grip here, a little bit on the bottom, just like the P-10F. Here, without the mag extension, my finger comes off the P-07. However, with these, my finger rests right on there. So I always carry at least with a +2. Out of these two guns, which one do I shoot the best? Or out of my P-07s and P-09s, which one do I shoot the best? Believe it or not, I actually shoot the P-07 better. Why? I have no freaking idea. But I actually shoot the P-07 better. So I don't know if it's, you know, a shorter slide. I really don't know. I figured I would shoot the P-10 or P-09 better than the P-07. However, I shoot the P-07 a little bit better. They're not drastic, it's just a little bit better. Now on the P-10C and the P-10F, which one do I shoot the best? I actually shoot those both the same. I mean, they're both damn near identical. I don't know why that is, and this is different. I really don't know, but I'm just trying to share my experiences. So when I get asked all the time, which should I buy? I was just asked this last night on the live chat. The Gun Nation chat. Please tune in again every Wednesday, 7 o'clock p.m. Central, and I will answer your questions in my opinion. But between the P-10F, or excuse me, the P-10, the P-10F, and the P-07s, P-09s, P-10Cs, you know, I think you should probably have both. Whether it be a P-10C and a P-07 or the P-10F and the P-09, whichever you choose, I think you should have both in your collection because the mag compatibility is a big, big plus. Plus, you don't only know a striker fire trigger, but you can also learn a double action, single action trigger. Now, my favorite double action, single action is the Shadow 2. It is the Shadow 2 without a doubt. However, they're expensive. P-09s, P-07 are just a polymer version of basically a Shadow 2. I mean, not exactly, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it will give someone, you know, a dabble or a foot into it, and maybe they'll actually buy a CZ Shadow 2. Maybe. But these are my opinions. Let me know yours. Which one do you prefer? P-10F, P-10C, P-07, P-09, or one of each? What do you have? What do you run? What do you like or dislike about any of these guns? I would love to hear it. But let me know your opinions below. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. Like, share, subscribe, everyone. Take care.